Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Tall and Taller. It is almost here. We are, 2 days away from the college football playoff. Michigan playing for the third time in 3 seasons. Can they finally get over the hump and beat Alabama and get to the national championship game? But we have two great matchups, not just that one, also the Washington versus Texas matchup at 2 and 3 in the Sugar Bowl. Um, that's where we'll start off today. Then Texas, Washington, down in New Orleans. I don't see this one being a barn burner, honestly, in my opinion. But
No.
I'll let you go first. I think, honestly, Texas rolls this, and I'll give my little explanation in a minute. But I want to hear from you first on it.
So I've been going back and forth. I think it's going to be a good game, a game with a lot of big plays because they both got a lot of explosive players, right? But I think in our pick'ems, I picked Texas. I'm pretty sure I did, but uh, my gut tells me Washington today.
Oh, you think Washington will take it?
Yep.
Let's see. No, you took Washington.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you took Washington.
See, there you go.
Um,
Like I said, I've been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But
and sorry. I mean, I can definitely see. A lot of people are saying that Washington will win because Texas is built a lot like Oregon is built.
yep.
Speed, like you said, big play offenses, both teams, like you said. But I think with the defense that Texas has compared to the defense of what Washington has is what will prevail in this game. Um, I just think the better defensive team easily like that. That's what's going to come down to the difference.
And it very well could, and you kind of said it in a different way is that it goes back to defense and who can stop the big plays, and I think whoever has the most big plays, which is usually the case, is gonna win, and I think that Washington's slightly more explosive than Texas. Michael Penix Jr. He's a playmaker. Um,
Mm-hmm.
where did he come from? Indiana, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he started at Indiana. Can you imagine where Indiana would be today with him?
Right.
Um,
We
but
had Barnhart at tight end. They probably would have been a team to worry about. Dylan Johnson got 1,000 yards, 1,100 actually. Um, they got two receivers over 1,000 yards. Rome Odunze, I think it is, and
yeah, Dundee.
Jalen
That's
Pope.
that's the that's the insane thing with Washington is their receiving core is absolutely insane. Dungy has
Right,
1,500. Dungy almost has 1,500 yards this year.
right, averaging 17.6, and Polk's averaging 16.7. So um, that's why I give them the edge. Just their big play capability. Um, they're not out of it, and I also give them a lot of credit that they beat a good Oregon team twice. I don't care. I've said this your whole life. It's hard to beat
Yep.
a good team in football twice a season. It just is.
No, I mean,
They pulled it off. So, um, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a fairly close game, maybe 31-27, something of that nature. Um, I don't think it'll be decided till the last few minutes, and it may go as far as whoever has the ball last is because Texas has big play capability also, but I just think that Washington's a little bit more explosive.
yeah, I mean, hang on, let me pull it. I said Texas is what? Texas is one loss, 12-1. The only loss was to Oklahoma and the Red River rivalry. So I mean, whatever. Oklahoma would finish 12th in the final eight people before the bowls. Um, does they have any common opponents? That's my main question. Probably not, but
I don't think so.
That's what I'm looking at right now. Is see if they have any common opponents. No, I figured as much that they wouldn't, but why is this doing
You know,
this?
that Oklahoma game was Oklahoma's a good team, right? Finished the season number 12, and it was a 4 point game, so it's not like they got blew out. Um,
No, they didn't get blown out. I mean, that's the main reason. That game though was the main reason why I didn't think Texas was going to get the CFP
right.
when it all came out originally.
Well, and
But
you know, they they had a fair amount of fairly close games against not so great teams. You know, they blew some people. They blew out Texas. Um,
blew out Kansas, which is a ranked team.
you know, a 3 point game against TCU, 3 point game against Kansas State, which Kansas State's ranked top 25, I believe, still. Um, Houston 7 point game. Kansas they blew out Kansas, who's 24.
They got
Um,
top 25 victories on their. Oh, I
yeah,
guess four. Definitely
yeah.
four.
No, you know they didn't. They played a decent schedule, so you know they're legit. I just don't think that they should have been there still, but I mean it is what it is.
No, I can agree. Really the only thing that got them in though to me is the Bama win. Was beating Bama week 2 or whatever they did. Um, but I mean, this game, like I said, I think it'll come down to whatever team. Obviously, it plays defense the best, which usually that's how football games work. But
Yep.
um, I say that as a Pac-12 team, a non-defensive, really having conference, um, plays a Big 12 team, which really the Big 12 has transitioned from. I mean, I don't exactly remember, but like from what I've seen and things like that, just because I was young in the early 2000s up into really mid 2000s, the Big 12 was kind of like the Big 10 when it came to defense. And it kind of seems like that has flipped, but I think Texas has slowly brought that back, at least to Texas. And that has actually, like I said, led to some of their success this season. I mean, I see one game of over 20, 2 games that they gave up over 25 points. Um, the Oklahoma game, K State game, okay, well, I guess 3, and TCU. Um, but I mean, if you look at their schedule, I mean, you don't give up more than 25 points in a game. You're pretty good, and your offense can score.
Right.
But where I'm going with this is the defense wins it for them, and I think Texas wins this one fairly easily. I think Texas wins by probably 2 touchdowns. I think the -4. I would honestly put money on it. So, but if I put money on it, it won't happen.
Right.
Um, but that's how confident I am. I think Texas wins this one easily, and I think it'll be a Texas versus Alabama or Michigan showdown. It's just, and like I said, it just comes down to the defense for me. You can have a good offense, but if you get a team that has a good enough defense to stop your offense, but we have to see that. But we'll see it in 2 days. What happens with it?
Yeah. And jumping ahead a little bit, you know, I think that is where the Alabama Michigan game is going to go. You know, the battle of defenses, who can stop the offense the best. So,
Yeah,
and
that'll
you
be a
know, as
battle.
always, who can protect the ball and who can pound the rock and do good. So, you know, Zinter's going to hurt us. Zinter being out is going to hurt us. But back up, I'm getting
But
off track.
no, you're good. I'm glad that you said that because I was about to go off of that, and then yeah, no, not what I wanted to do. Um, but I mean, and the only like I'm say, if Washington does pull it, I would not be surprised, just because of how good Penix is as a player. Dude is a playmaker, and I mean I don't remember where he finished in Heisman, but in my high, if I was able to vote on the Heisman, he probably would have finished second.
Who's that?
Penix.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly like if I was a Heisman voter, I probably would have voted him second in the Heisman voting behind Marvin Harrison Jr.
You
JT
still would have
Daniels.
had you still would have had Daniels first.
No, I never know. Fuck him, dude. No, he did not deserve the Heisman.
Yes, he
How is
did.
it 3 loss? No, how? How? He had 3 losses. When has it ever been okay for? When has anyone ever even got invited with the 3-loss team? Denard Robinson didn't. Denard Robinson put up the same fucking numbers. I honestly don't know because I've never looked. But
No,
Denard Robinson, how did? But tell me that right now. How did Denard Robinson never get fucking invited to the Heisman Trophy ceremony? How? That's
because he was a his statistics were as a running back. He was a garbage quarterback. Okay, he just was.
the dude leads. Never mind. I don't want to go down that road because this will be like a 20-minute segment.
I love Denard, but he was a running back playing quarterback.
No, and I can.
If he would have been a running back, I think he would have won the Heisman hands down, and maybe even won it twice.
I'm trying to find the stats. Now you're in mine. No, I don't care about the NFL. I don't want to see his NFL stats, guys. Come on. Oh well, fuck it. Back on topic. Florida, Texas. Oh, not Florida, Texas. Jesus. Sorry, I got the ESPN pulled up, and Florida State and Georgia game is pulled up. Where was I? Texas, Washington. Again, I think this is a shorter segment for us. Like I said, I think Texas wins. Still going to roll with Texas with 2 scores. I think it's like a 45, 24, 27 game. I mean, I think that's pretty. I think that's a pretty reasonable game score. What I think it'll be, but I mean, what? I mean, your final prediction for it versus that. I mean, what would it be?
31-27 Washington.
So okay, late touchdown to win it.
Yep.
Question mark. Down by 4 or down by 3, late touchdown to win it. I mean, yeah, it's just a weird game. You want to know what's dumb? Going into this, we're gonna switch topics here and go to the Rose Bowl, but I mean, I get it. It's the Rose Bowl and it's the college football playoffs and it's Michigan, Alabama. But why are tickets to the Rose Bowl like $500 more than tickets to the Sugar Bowl?
That's why.
I mean, I
And
know.
you have two of the biggest blue bloods in college football history, right? Two of the largest or most well-traveled fan bases. You know, the amount of mobile homes for sale on Craigslist in Alabama right now is crazy. They will sell their kids to go watch their football team. So
Yeah, well, that's about where I'm about.
you know, it's just supply and demand. In all seriousness, I think that because of the blue blood history and how well both teams travel, it's just going to be it's just high demand game.
Yeah, I feel it. Hang on, I want to look at something real quick. That's so bad. I want to jump on this so bad. It's like college football playoffs has like this RSVP thing. Like so you can RSVP for your team and it like locks in a price. So, but if it drops and Michigan makes it,
Right.
you get a ticket for whatever you lock the price in at. Well,
Right. But if they don't make it, you don't get your money back.
Yeah, you do. They don't charge you yet. They just put a hold on it.
No. You got to pay that money. You got to pay that $500 or whatever it is to get the chance to buy the tickets. And if they don't make it, you don't get your money back.
I was doing it anyways because tickets were $700. Well, they went down actually, but $720. But Washington's is 190.
Right.
Everyone else's Texas 900, Alabama 475, and I'm like, I wish.
So I haven't looked at ticket prices in a while, but
For what the
Charlie texted me yesterday and said
for the
ticket
Natty.
prices are dropping. If we leave today, we could drive out there because he said flights are stupid. And I said, well, we could just fly into Vegas and drive out, like you and I talked about.
Oh, for the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, but yeah, they're $545 a piece.
With fees. Yeah. No, they really ain't dropped. They'll probably drop a little bit tomorrow, but I think $400 is probably going to be your bare minimum at that point.
Yeah, I think that's probably the benchmark.
4 maybe down to 3 closer to game time, maybe the day of. But I don't see that going down, and I expect. I mean, who knows what the Natty tickets are going to go for? I know they usually drop out of They always start at like $1,500, but usually like 2 or 3 days before the game, they usually drop within like the $500 to $700 range, which, in my opinion, for a national championship game is reasonable. But I'm hoping I put in another lottery for tickets to the national championship game, and I have a lot more coins this time on bet tickets. So we'll see how that one goes.
Yep.
So I figure that out day after the game. So yeah, may or may not get it. Hopefully I do. But anyways, Michigan, Alabama. This is the game that I think we all care about the most. Is the battle of the bluest of bloods. I mean, I have to look it up again. I should have done this before. It's the battle of the bluest of bloods, really, in college football history. I mean, you take it and you look at them. I mean, I think, shit, what did I post that on? I posted something on Twitter. I don't remember if it was on my actual one or not. Like, kind of all the combined accolades. If you take both programs, storied history as is. I mean, so 29 national titles combined, 79 conference titles combined, 172 All-Americans combined, all meeting in honestly what should be a game of a century type game in the Rose Bowl. I mean, this is not just for Michigan and Alabama fans. It's a big game for college football, period. Have these two teams play each other in the Rose Bowl. I think that's what makes it so special is the fact that it's in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, and I don't know, to me, and I think to especially a lot of college football purist fans, they call it the granddaddy of them all for a reason. And I'm sure with all the playoff appearances that Alabama has had in the last 17 years or whatever, they've been in the Rose Bowl, but that's not a traditional spot for them, right? So I gotta believe that they've only played a couple times. So it's got to be special, especially for the players, special for the coaches, special for the fans. And that's another reason why the ticket prices are up. That's always been our conference champion before the CFP area destination. So we've been fortunate enough to play there quite a bit for that reason. But it's as big as it gets in college football for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, going just direct me. I mean, this much as I wanted Michigan to play down here in New Orleans in the Sugar Bowl, which would have been very, very nice. This is the best thing. I mean, this is the best thing for college football, period. Like I said, I mean, we say that. I've said it. God said it. It's going to bring. I full-heartedly expect that game. Not even the fan bases do it on their own, but that's going to be the most watched probably football game of the year. Honestly, I think that might top the Michigan Ohio State game.
I would be surprised if it doesn't.
I mean,
For
just go ahead.
all the reasons we talked about before, plus it's going to be the only other football game on at that time.
Well, yeah.
So there's no competition. That's going to be the second to last day for all the college football fans to get their fix in. So that's going to contribute to the eyeballs on the TV sets too.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I'll go into the game. Just, I think both teams are phenomenally well matched. Um,
Pretty even too.
and that's what I'm saying. Everything's even. When you look, I mean, you look at numbers for like passing, leading passers, so like JJ and Milrow, they're pretty much dead even. JJ's completion percentage is a little better. But I mean, you go to rushing, Blake leads it by Blake leads it by touchdowns by a lot, but I mean that's pretty even. And I mean receiving wise, they don't have. I mean they don't. It's not that. It's I keep saying this, but it sucks because it makes us. Now that I just said this, it makes it. It's not the Alabama of the past. That's what I'm trying to say here.
No.
Where they've just been the juggernaut. I know I've said it before. Where oh no, we're playing Alabama. Oh shit, we're screwed. Like a lot of people have us written off. I'm like, have Michigan written off in this game. I'm like, how are we written off? But that's how are we written off when we're favored?
Right.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Is that I mean I get it. If it was Alabama that was blowing people out left and F and right, and like, ended up slipping up one game and got in, but this team struggled this season in multiple games. I heard something last night. Someone said, "Oh, well, they had their bad game against Alabama against Auburn." Well, what happened against UCF or USF?
Right.
Lost won by 3 points to USF. What happened there? I don't want to hear shit about this team. Is not the same Alabama as it was, but that also has to do with the NIL and stuff. I won't get back down that road, but that's what the NIL has brought us is a more even playing field for the bigger teams where you don't see an Alabama load up and just be able to dominate everybody like they're an NFL team. Um, I mean, let me go. I mean, you have that. They almost lost to Texas A&M. That was a close game.
Right.
Okay, well, they beat USF by 17-3, but I think in the first half it was way too close for comfort. Still, Alabama would have blown USF out by 50 probably 2 years ago. But it was like, oh, they beat Georgia. They beat Georgia. Again, Georgia wasn't the team. I think the SEC as a whole was down this season.
Right.
I don't think the SEC was that good of a conference. I think this is the first year that I can specifically say I think the Big Ten is bigger than the SEC by far this season overall. And we only have a handful of teams that can probably compete in the SEC: Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, and I mean Penn State, Ole Miss are playing right now. There's a fucking New Year's Six bowl with SEC Big Ten matchup. I mean, what I'm trying to say, all in all, is we're winning this fucking game. I'm dead confident. I'm very confident on this game.
Yeah. I don't I wouldn't say I'm very confident. I'm confident. Um, Alabama, like you said, is not the team of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I think why everybody is hyping them up so much is one, the SEC, and two, because of their past reputation. And they're a great football team. Don't get me wrong. Obviously they're a national title contender. Like I've said, I think whoever wins this game is going to win the national title. Mm-hmm. But I don't think anybody's shaking in their boots either, like they have been 5 years ago. I might not even watch the game because I'm like, oh, that's all she wrote. But we're just not there. And if you look at the stats, we are pretty evenly matched, and I think the only place where they are clearly better than us, and I think you'll probably take exception to this and argue, but is at DB cornerback. Um, so
I don't completely disagree there. I think it's a 50-50 matchup.
yeah, they got two guys that are as good or better than Mikey, and Mikey's our standout. Will Johnson's been great too, right? But he's sounds like he's still nursing a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it's a 24-17 game, something like that, 24-21, maybe even. It's funny on Twitter last night. Somebody, I think Josh Henke, posted something from an Alabama fan site, and all their people have it like 44-10, 37-3.
Holy hell, dude! SEC, and Alabama fans are. I mean, they just y'all are gonna get your asses rolled. I just
And I'm not saying that couldn't happen because it could, but I just don't see it.
no, and I think this is where I went to go earlier with it. Is I think Michigan's back's against the wall. Nobody's on their side. Michigan versus it's fitting perfect. Michigan versus everybody, which is how it's been like that for a very long time. This isn't just something that's been around and just now being talked about. But when everybody is against Michigan, this season, not even just well, yeah, really this season. You take the suspensions, you take everything and add it up. Michigan has prevailed and proven everyone fucking wrong. And I think they do it again. That's what I said. I just do. This team has not showed any quit. We've been here. We have the experience. Now it's just time to get over the hump of winning the semifinals and getting the natty. Like that's the only thing. And in my opinion, if we don't do that, I very much dislike saying this because 4 years ago we were begging for this to happen. It's a disappointing season if we don't win this game. Now now I feel that way, but like I said, I hate fucking saying that because 3 years ago we were begging for this shit.
Right. And you're right, because getting there 3 years in a row only goes so far. It's just hard to say that a 13-1 season isn't successful. But to go with what you said, that shows how far we've come, right?
Yeah, it does, and that's
3 losses in the last 3 years, 2 in the CFP, one to Sparty.
like, and I think the players. I mean, I wholeheartedly think the players would agree. Like, the players probably agree with more on my side than side of it's.
Oh, yeah, for
Because
sure. The players
that's
come
why.
out. Blake come out and said it. I think Roman come out and said it. JJ's come out and said it. If we don't win this game, the season's a failure. But
And
to your point is that we play our best, and we've seemed to really thrive this year in that underdog role with our back against the wall. And that's honestly kind of what gives me the confidence that I have. This team loves to prove people wrong. Everybody knows what they've been through, 2 suspensions without the coach, all the allegations. I thought it was funny that, and I didn't really think it was a shot. I just thought it was funny that Alabama mentioned that they're no longer studying film on their iPads as a precaution. They're, studying.
Did you see Michigan also said that
Yep,
everyone's pretty much stopped using it.
right. Which, I would too.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is. But I seen that, and I was like, oh, we're back. Like, we're in their heads. It's where we need to be. And honestly, that's another reason I think we win is is because of the fact that we're in that underdog mentality and we haven't lost that way all year. But I'm gonna be really, really upset if we don't win this game. just
Well,
because like
everybody
it's
will.
gonna suck because well no I know that, but it's just more on the side of this is year 3. At this point, we lose this game, we're literally just a college football punching bag, in my opinion. At that point, we have 44 seniors. This is why they came back, and this is why we're gonna win the game. We're have in playing wise, we have more experience. I'm not saying in the playoffs. God, no, not in the playoffs. Alabama wins that by a mile. But I'm saying, I think if you go back and look, I think we have more total games played as like a team. Like you add everybody's games up, we have more total experience than Alabama does at this moment in time.
We do.
And I think that's going to play out well. I think if we, well, main thing is the key of this game is going to be Jalen Milroe, in my opinion. You're going to have to contain him. You can't just let him run all over you. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Whether it's put a spy. Yeah. Another thing about Jalen Milroe will, uh, if you put him under pressure, which Alabama's given up like 60 some sacks this season or some crazy ass number. They're like tied for 125th in sacks given up. You put him under pressure, he makes fucking mistakes. He's a young quarterback. He is. He's a good quarterback, but a young quarterback.
Right.
But you need, and that's going to be the thing. You gotta get pressure on him and make him get uncomfortable in the backfield. I mean, you can say that for any quarterback, but especially him because he's shown that he will make mistakes with pressure on him. He's gonna try to overdo it and try to make a play, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We've seen it with JJ last year when JJ was young. And I mean, we've seen it a little bit this year, kind of against the Bowling Green game. You've seen it, but
Yep.
I, I'm really confident going to this game. Though. I know I've said it like 4 times now, but I just feel there's not any like I hate it. I felt a lot of nerves like the past like 2-3 days, but it was really kind of like last night. I was like, why am I nervous? We're the number 1 team in the country. We haven't really trailed any games this season.
Right.
I don't think we did. If we did, it was in like early first quarters. What is there to be nervous about until it actually happens? Like, and I just think being Michigan versus everybody mentality and all the combinations are going to come into this game. Fuck, I think Michigan wins by 3 touchdowns. I 2 or 3 touchdowns. I'm fucking saying it. I don't think Alabama's good. And the committee will look like a dumbasses because they didn't put Florida State in, even though I believe Alabama is technically the better team than Florida State. But yes, we're gonna blow Alabama out. Easy game. JJ goes for 400 yards. Just kidding, probably 300. But that's really gonna be key. JJ's also gonna have to. All serious, JJ's gonna have to have a good game. We're gonna have to throw the football, and if we don't have to throw the football, we're gonna yes, we will win by 2 or 3 touchdowns if we can run the football. If we run the football down the throat, Alabama has no shot to win that game. But anyways, Michigan wins by 2 scores.
And I could see that happening as well. I think Alabama. But the only thing that I would disagree with that is I think they're a good football team, borderline great. They have just been ultra inconsistent, right? They very easily could be a 3-loss team, maybe even a 4-loss team. And that's the difference. And we were never really threatened. Yeah, that Maryland game was closer than anybody would have liked, but
it wasn't. We were up 2 or 3 scores early, and I
we
think
were.
we kind of just let our foot off the gas in that game and just said, "Hey, let's relax. Let's not get anybody hurt."
and maybe that's it.
I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm excited. I just wish it was fucking here. Like, dude, I still got 2 more days of this shit. I just sitting around watching other football games. I'm like, dude, I just want to watch Michigan at this point. It's been way too long. But I mean, like we said, it's we said earlier this month. I mean, it's Nick Saban though. I mean, that's probably the only thing that really gets me is that it's Nick Saban and he's had a fucking month to prepare for us. And I think I read on Twitter somewhere that when he has a month to prepare for a team going to the CFP, he's like 10-1.
Right.
And I'm like, that's insane, dude. Like the dude's definitely one of the greatest college football coaches ever, rather than if not the greatest college football coach ever.
Yeah, I don't think there's even a discussion or argument about it. I think he is, and if he wasn't the coach of this game, my confidence level would be where yours is at. I just think that um, I just think with a coach of his caliber and track record that you cannot. You better be careful, of your confidence level, especially fans don't matter, but you're
Yeah,
coaching your teams, and I do think that everybody that is a part of the University of Michigan football team understands that it is practicing that. It's just the guy has decades long track record of winning these games, and Michigan and Harbaugh do not. Pretty recent good track record, right? But still, Harbaugh's what 1-6. What's so funny?
I'll show you in a minute. I'm gonna play it on the podcast. Holy shit, this thing's fucking great. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. Holy fuck. I was on Twitter trying to find something. I just found something even better. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry. I really
That's
am.
okay. He's got something. I don't know. I lost my train of thought now, but
You were
you
talking
know,
about Nick Saban.
yeah. And we're Harbaugh's what 1-6 in bowl games, 1-7. Um, so that's the biggest thing that gives me doubt. But I do think that I feel like just about this is almost a team of destiny type deal.
Right there with you. And I said that if you go back, I was listening when I remember when I went back and I got like I put on I said I went back and got our predictions from the beginning of the season for like the final four.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions, and you want to go on and change it and act like you were perfect and you weren't. Um we I had I said on that podcast from day one this season that Michigan was going and winning the national championship. And Michigan was not losing a game to do it. And that's 100% about to come true. Because, like I said, whoever wins this game is going to be the national champion, in my opinion.
I believe that too.
And barring any injuries, I'll say that during practice leading up to the national
Sure.
championship or anything like that.
Yeah,
Or late injuries.
JJ goes down or Milrow goes down for them in this game, and that team wins. They're still in trouble, no doubt about it.
Yeah, like I said, I think it'll. I'm changing everything that I'm saying. I don't like this. I don't like where my confidence level's at right now as a fan. Because every time my confidence level gets fucking high, well, I guess not really with Michigan football. But like I said, I feel like you said, team of destiny, Michigan versus everybody, backs against the wall. I just think, I just continue to say it. I think Michigan rolls, and Tide go back to Alabama after with the loss, and I think we killed the Nick Saban dynasty. We beheaded the Ohio State dynasty that was the Big Ten, and now we're going to behead the dynasty that was Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Nick Saban,
unless we beat them like 49-3 or something, maybe you could say that. But
Nick Saban's done.
Nick Saban's 72 years old and shows no signs of slowing down. And, you know,
Fuck Nick
it's
Saban,
really
by the way.
it's really hard to do what Michigan has done the last 3 years, and he's been a couple levels above that for 17 years. I think he's been at Alabama. So I don't know about cutting the head off the snake, but it will take that monkey off our back. I think that'll shut everybody up about, oh, can't win the big games, type of deal.
Yeah, but they're all done. It's gonna go. Y'all cheated to do it. Y'all cheated to do it, motherfucker. We ain't had anything for 6-7 weeks now.
Right.
Mid-season. Shut up. Get over it. Stop crying.
And we didn't have any of that information for the toughest part of our schedule, right? And if we did, those teams had plenty of time to address that.
Seems like, and there's proof now. I mean, not even just from last night, but there's proof that Ohio State had signs of Michigan. Which I'm not going to get into that because we talked about it like a month ago about how they had like the play sheets and there was pictures like literally from inside the stadium. There was scoreboard pictures. There was sideline pictures on Ohio State's play sheets. I'm like, why are we just batting a blind eye at that? But like, this is just getting dumb. And I mean, I don't know. It just pisses me off the way that Michigan gets treated, and my blood's fucking boiling now. Just letting you know, I'm pissed off. I don't know. Look at my face. I'm a little pissed off. That shit just pissed me off. And then between that and I mean, like I said, let this shit about Ohio State fucking doing this shit be true. I will not be nice. That's all I'm gonna say. But I mean, like I said, I think Michigan wins it. I'll see. I'll say 38, 21.
38-21, huh? And could be. I hope so. I hope it's.
I think. Sorry.
I hope it's a game that I'm not. Sitting down, bite my nails, pacing. Before the last. Two games or before the last 2 minutes. So I'd much rather it be decided. As we've so famously talked about, I hope it's a boring game in favor of us. That'd be nice. Take the pressure off, and then you can worry about the next one. But I don't expect that. I expect it to be a good battle. Which, if not for the nerves, I would normally like. But again,
and I think that's why, because my confidence level is out the fucking roof right now. I have goddamn not 1 ounce of nerve right now, at least right now. I guarantee it. I'll probably rethink all this stuff, and by like this time tomorrow, I'll change my mind. But it's just combining everything, like you said, team of destiny. That was the perfect way to put it. That's what this team feels like, and just go get it done.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. But that's what I got there. I just want to play this fucking video real quick because this shit's fucking hilarious. I don't know. You probably seen it. It was on fucking Twitter, but this shit's great.
How we looking, Coach?
It's looking great.
Your turn, brother. Thanks, Coach.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I seen your head was down for a minute, but I mean that was the video I was watching. Because that is like by far the most perfect description of what Ryan Day has done in the Ohio State program, in my opinion.
And this is after a 10-2 season. 10-2.
No,
And
I know. But Ohio
I know
State's
where the
not
bar
hard.
is for them, okay, but it's we have learned that lesson, and I hope they have to go through that too. I hope they have a 7-year stretch of 6 and 7 and 8 win seasons.
I want to see a 3-win Ohio State team, a 5-win. They deserve every little fucking ounce of that shit as we did.
So if Ohio State has a 5-win season, the population of Ohio will decrease by half. And there'll be a fair amount of them catching charges.
I don't know. This new Big Ten is a place it could happen. If they come into this new Big Ten and play, really, if they play how they did this year without Marvin Harrison Jr., they're consistently how they played this year. I know they won 10 games, went 10-2, or 11 and I get what? No, it was 11-2, 11-2. If they do that, but it's more on the way that they played. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s gone. I mean, yeah, they're gonna probably get another freak fucking athlete at wideout, which
but you're not getting Marvin Harrison.
No, that dude was the biggest scapegoat. Made fucking Kyle McCord look like he was a great quarterback when he was not.
Right.
And I mean, I know a lot of Buckeyes and things like that. That obviously he was a game manager quarterback that got bailed out a lot by Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, that's what it is. But if they come in and play the way they did this year, this is the wrong time to be going downhill in the Big Ten. If you're going to go on a slope, I mean, you have Oregon. USC possibly could pop back, but Oregon, Washington, be interested to see how Washington is next season. Because losing Penix and Adunza, I think Adunza's gone. Losing a lot of their good players. It'll be interesting to see because I mean, you go back to I think they made it in what year did Washington make playoffs? Like 2015, 16? I think it was.
I think so.
But even after that, I mean, they got blown out. But Washington kind of fell off at that point, and now they've kind of grown back. Can they consistently keep being a good team after you lose those players, or are they going to go back to the Washington of? Well, I don't think they'll ever go back to the Washington of 2021 when we played them after they lost to Montana State or whatever. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, Oregon, USC, it's going to be big, and I mean, possibly full ACC. Florida State's trying to get out of the ACC right now.
I figured that was coming.
Maybe bring them in. Yep. I think they it would make more sense for them to go to like the SEC, but I don't know. It's going to be college football is changing, and I know we talked about this, but it's going to be an interesting next few years. We'll say that. I think college football landscape has changed a lot just in the past 2 years. But I think it's going to change a lot more in the next 3 to 4 years with teams jumping conferences, teams leaving conferences. I don't think I hate to say this, but I think you're going to see the Minnesotas, the Rutgers, the Marylands, the Indianas of the Big Ten probably leave the Big Ten at some point to bring in bigger, better dogs.
I feel like the Big Ten will go away. I think either the Big Ten and SEC merge, or people start breaking off and start making a super conference. I think that's coming. I talked about this a little bit before when all this legal stuff started with Michigan, and they hired a big, powerful law firm and kind of come at the Big Ten. I thought that was going to get the ball rolling, and it still may. Especially if these allegations against Ohio State and the catapult thing are true, and they aren't punished as equally as Michigan was, or more severely. To me, this is a more egregious thing than sending a guy with a cell phone. But you're arguing about semantics, so we'll just see. But I think with the NIL and the transfer portal, and college football almost needs a reset to get
Oh yeah, and
to get everybody on the same page, and I think that's probably coming. It's
there's
when, not if.
so this was a really good story. I know this is a fucking pounded, repeated thing on this podcast. Um, but it's got to do with like the transfer portal and all that. I was listening. I don't remember which game it was. I think it was North Carolina State. I don't remember who they played off the top of my head right now. But it was North Carolina State game. I was watching the bowl game, and North Carolina State this season had their quarterback was not doing good. They'd put in their backup quarterback. The dude played 4 games as a starter. They gave him a starting job. It was the 4-game start. It was 4 games. After that 4th game, came to the coach and said, "Yeah, I'm only going to play these 4 games because I'm redshirting and I'm transferring." Dude, they gave you the starting job at a Division I school.
Right.
North Carolina State's not a bad football team, but where I was going with it is that is where this fucking shit is fucked. It's screwed. The team gives you a starting job at a Division I school, and that's not fucking good enough for you.
Right. Oh, I had a good few games. I want to go play for Alabama now. That's what
Dude, and that NCAA needs to reel in quick, and that's what the announcer said on TV. And the NCAA needs to reel this shit in really fucking fast, or this shit's gonna not be fixable. Right now, I believe it still is fixable, but it needs to be done.
Yeah, and I think so too.
Whether you can transfer once, that's fine, and like once, twice if you have an injury and like lose a spot to an injury or something like that. But it has to be like a waiver. It needs to kind of go back to that old system. But you don't have to sit out. Like that's cool. You don't have to sit out a year. That's fine. You can transfer and not have to sit out. But you need something set to let it be known that you cannot just, oh no, this isn't going my way, or oh, I want to go to a better school now. You shouldn't just be able to transfer. There's people transferring. Look at fucking Tate Martell. Started at Ohio State, went to Miami, went to like Texas Tech, went to like 5 schools before he graduated college.
Right.
Like, why are you transferring 5 times in a career, dude? Just give up at that point. I mean, I get it, but don't. It's probably not going to work out at any of those schools if it didn't work out at the first 3.
Right. You're the problem at this point.
And if you want, and that's another thing. Like, if they don't want to do an injury on the second one, tell them, hey, if you want to transfer, you can transfer once with no penalty, no sitting out, no that. You transfer again, unless it's like for an injury, you're sitting out a year. There just needs to be something done with that, so we don't see stuff like that situation again for NC State, where their quarterback had a good 4 games and just was like, you helped me out, goodbye, fuck y'all, pretty much. Pretty much walked out, gave them double birds. And I mean, it's just dumb. And it also comes back to the NIL. The NIL needs to be fixed because that's also not helping the situation. But the NCAA ain't gonna do anything. NCAA is the worst. God, NCAA is horrible. And I honestly, I don't see anything changing. I think this college football, without this change in college football, will be ruined in the next I'll say 3 to 5 years if they don't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's coming. College football's taken a big hit the last 3 or 4 years, and it's the purity of it's been ruined. But I don't think we're at a place yet where it can't be reversed. But I think if things aren't fixed in the next 5-ish years or so, that's going to be all she wrote as far as college football as we knew it, and that's a shame. But
it is, but
changes is imminent, and So is progress, and a lot of times with progress, you have some going backwards. But the NIL and the transfer portal, great, both ideas in theory. The student athletes deserve that, but the way they were executed was just very poor.
It was. I wish it wasn't, but it is what it is. But well, I don't got anything else.
Nope, me neither.
I think it was a good show. I mean, we started off a little rough, but I think it was more just because Washington, Texas, not a lot to talk about in our half, at least on that part of the show. But yeah, guys, like I said, we'll be back if not after the game um, next Saturday to do another show. Hopefully, we're talking about Michigan playing a national championship, um, and I can talk. I can hopefully Michigan backs up my shit talk that I had today. Um, but we'll see how it goes. Um, we just got to win. That's all that matters at this point. But as always, guys, go blue and be Bama.
Go blue.
All right, guys, have a good weekend.
Hail.